Pride and Prejudice, Chapter 5, first video. Within a short walk of Longbourn lived a family with whom the Bennets were particularly intimate. In order to continue, question: what is Longbourn? Answer: Longbourn is the house, right? The estate, the property of the Bennets. Okay, so not very far from Longbourn. Get used to it, okay? It's kind of strange for us, right? But not so strange. Probably you remember that farms here in Brazil have names. Many farms have names, and so it's common to refer to those things, of course, mainly here by their names, right? Okay, so within a short walk of Longbourn lived a family with whom... I'll take a look at the rule I told you last class, right? After preposition, and because here we are talking about who as an object, alright? So we would prefer whom. This is a more formal way to put it, okay? I don't know, we could try to paraphrase that in contemporary everyday English to avoid that whom, so could be: within a short walk of Longbourn lived a family who the Bennets were particularly intimate with. Remember I told you that a nice strategy is to send the preposition to the end of the sentence so you avoid the preposition being close to who, and then you don't need to use this awkward whom. Awkward nowadays, of course, at that time that's perfectly fine. Sir William Lucas had been formerly in trade in Meryton, where he had a tolerable fortune, and risen to the honor of knighthood by an address to the king during his mayoralty. Well, let's go by parts, right? First, keep in mind, tolerable fortune. I didn't put there in our list there, but you get the point, right? He had a fortune, but it's not like a huge fortune. It was a tolerable fortune, right? And if he rose to the honor of knighthood, it means that the king made him a knight. Knight, like the chess piece, right? Keep in mind, the chess piece we don't call horse, right? Why? Because we're not focusing on the animal, we are focusing on the guy who rides the animal. So that's why that's a knight. No problems with chess pieces, right? So you remember the pawn, the one we have lots of in the chess game. Of course, the king, the queen, I don't know, the tower, right? The bishop, the knight. Well, the same way we have brother is my brother, brotherhood is, the institution of being my brother, okay? We have knight is the guy, right? He's a knight who will save the princess. And then we have knighthood, which is the position of being a knight. So by an address to the king during his mayoralty, remember mayoralty is the office or term of a mayor. Question: what is Curitiba's mayor? Answer: I believe is Rafael Greca. There was an election. I'm not very focused on elections and stuff, but I think it's Rafael Greca. Alright? So because of his position, he was named, right? He rose to the honor of knighthood. The distinction had perhaps been felt too strongly. It had given him a disgust to his business and to his residence in a small market town. And, in quitting them both, he had removed with his family to a house. He had removed with his family to a house about a mile from Meryton. Of course, Meryton, what is Meryton? It's the town, right? The town where he used to live and where he developed his functions. So he went to a house about a mile from Meryton, denominated from that period Lucas Lodge. Remember, places, houses, properties have name. So now we have the Lucas Lodge, where he could think with pleasure of his own importance and, unshackled by business, occupy himself solely in being civil to all the world. Keep in mind that civil, of course we have civilian, right? But we have this idea of being gentle, being polite, you know. So he was unshackled by his business. Be careful, because unshackled can be two things. There's a little difference if you think about it. You can unshackle a person, okay? So John was, oh, by the way, okay, shackle, okay, handcuffs. Let's imagine the police catches me, right? And they're going to put handcuffs on me so I won't get away, okay? Shackle is that, but shackle is a little bit more, it's a little bit broader, all right? You can have shackles on your feet as well. You can have, you know, the ball and chain. The old ball and chain is an informal way to say a wife, okay? But you remember prisoners had a ball and chain, you know, so they were shackled by that big metal ball and a chain, all right? Probably the ball and chain was shackled to their ankle so they wouldn't run away. Okay, so that's shackled. If I say Peter was unshackled, it may be that he was shackled before, but then they found out he was not guilty and he was unshackled. That's nice, okay? But then that's strange if this is the meaning here, you know? Unshackled by business. Unshackled by business. So it means that business set him free. But wait a moment, we were just talking that he moved to another place and he forgot his business, you know? Take a look. Where? Let me see. The distinction had perhaps been felt too strongly. It had given him a disgust to his business. It had given him a disgust to his business and to his residence in a small market town. And in quitting them both. So how is it possible that now his business is unshackling him if he quit his business and his house? Because then we have a second meaning for unshackled. Unshackled is not shackled, right? It's different. One guy was shackled and then he was unshackled. The other guy never got shackles at all, right? So take a look. Unshackled by business, because he was not shackled by business anymore, he could occupy himself solely, formal way of saying only, right? In being civil to all the world. For though elated by his rank, it did not render him supercilious. Okay, let's go by parts here, right? For though elated, remember that when you are I think I elated, okay? Elated, not elated, elated. Sorry, my bad. So if you are elated, you are in high spirits. You are extremely happy, all right? I put a dog a picture of a dog there, you know, having a wonderful time. So because he was elated by his rank, or even though he was elated by his rank, it did not render him supercilious. It did not make him supercilious. Now think about it. If you are supercilious, you think you are better than others. You are superior than others, and then you can think, but how so? Supercilious is like something like in Portuguese, right? So supercilious, how is that? Like thinking that you are better than others. And then we have a very nice etymology. I put a picture of a guy who he's doing, I can't do those things, but he's doing like this with his eyebrows, right? And he has a face that shows that he is superior to others, all right? And that's exactly where the word came from. Let me read the definition I have here. And not only the definition, but the history of the word. I think it's pretty interesting. So first of all, the definition: having or looking as though one thinks one is superior to others. Then we have the history. The English word supercilious ultimately derives from the Latin word supercilium, that is eyebrow, you know, eyebrow. My eyebrows here. Supercilium came to mean the eyebrow as used in a frowning. Look, I'm frowning now. I can frown like this. I can frown like this. In a frowning or expressing sternness, gravity, or haughtiness. From there, it developed the sense of stern looks, severity, haughty demeanor, pride. The derived Latin adjective superciliosus meant full of stern, disapproving looks, censorious, haughty, disdainful, as it has since it entered English as supercilious in the 1900s. The super in the Latin word supercilium means above, and cilium was the Latin word for eyelid. All right, eyelid, like the lids of your eyes, right? In many of the Romance languages, this word developed into the word for eyelash. Eyelash, cilius, right? In English. So think about it, right? Sorry, cilius in Portuguese. This development is probably reflected in the scientific use in English of word cilium, whose plural is cilia. Cilia are the minute hair-like appendages of cells or unicellular organisms that move in unison in order to bring about the movement of the cell or the surrounding of the surrounding medium. Okay, so in cells we call cilium because they're, you know, like little hairs, right? Well, and then I have the idea of supercilious. Now take a look at this. We are thinking about Mr. right, Sir, because he is a knight, Sir William Lucas. For though elated by his rank, it did not render him supercilious. It didn't make him stuck up. On the contrary, he was all attention to everybody, by nature inoffensive, friendly, and obliging. His presentation at St. James's had made him courteous.